Now, oh, they're good at keeping order on it.
They are.
Is that what the kids are here for?
No.
Do you operate this district to provide a job for Mr. Redding?
No.
Do you operate this district to provide a job for anybody?
No.
Who do you operate this district for, Mr. Trimmer?
Those are the students here. Number one priority, not even close to number. Two's not even close to number one.
In spite of all of the reasons and excuses and the issues, the teacher's number one job will be here and provide those educational hours and days for these kids.
It's mandatory.
And that's what
Would not,
you,
students couldn't function if we didn't have our teachers here.
and that's what this is all about.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Mr. Trammell, under the Family and Medical Leave Act, the certification from a doctor is only required if you request Mr. Redding to provide that, isn't it?
It's not the way I understand it, but anyway.
Well, let's look at it, just real quickly. Under,
Page 60.
yeah, under tab 10, and before we get to that, isn't it true that under the Family and Medical Leave Act, of the total of 12 work weeks that the person can choose to take off, a total of 12. That person can use vacation, paid vacation time, paid sick leave time, isn't that correct?
I'm not authority enough to speak to that.
All right, well, I think we have it in here, but let's go over to,
Actually, it's on page 59.
That's not on page, that's not in tab 10, if I can remember. Tab 8.
thank you. Well, not tab 8, because that's a proposed new policy.
Yeah, that's a proposed. That's the one that you were going to go across, right?
That's not our policy.
Correct. That's the proposed one for next year. Let me find that real quick. Now, that's the statute.
This is 7. Your tab 7,
Thank you.
and the page at the bottom, number at the bottom, 59.
Right. Under page 50, on page 59, the notice by the employee is when the need for leave is foreseeable. The employee must provide the district with at least 30 days' notice. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it must be given as soon as practicable if 30 days is not there.
Correct.
Now, when the need for leave is for reasons 3 or 4 listed above, care for a spouse, a serious health condition, the employee should provide a medical certification from a health care provider. But no one ever brought up Family Medical Leave Act to Coach Redding, did they?
No.
And y'all never
I
required,
didn't.
okay, and you never required certification?
No.
Okay. That's all I have, thank you.
One real quick question. If we're going to talk about following or not following school policy, they all should be followed, shouldn't they?
Yes.
Including notices as required
Correct.
by Family Medical. Sure, that's all.
I have no further questions.
No, that's the only witness we got. And our exhibit number 1, I think. Can we do something? Number 1, can we take a short break? And number 2, can we turn the air conditioner back on? Folks have a hard time.
If you turn it on, make a 15-minute pause and turn the air back on and let it cool back down and then.
Yeah. If you don't mind.
We'll turn it back on.
Either that, I'm gonna take this jacket out.
Wow, yeah. Arkansas Teacher Fair Dismissal Act is to provide evaluations, procedures of teachers, so school districts know how to handle those business matters. And why do we want to handle those business matters? Is because ultimately it helps the children. That's why you're at school, is to help the kids. And Coach Redding is here at school to help the kids. And when you conduct procedures, it has to be fair, so the teacher will know where the teacher stands. If the teacher's not doing something they should be doing, you need to know it. If they're doing the right thing that they can improve, they need to know that too. Because if you're up and down about, well, maybe they don't like me, maybe this, maybe that, that's going to affect possibly how well you teach your students. Also, teachers are human just like anybody else. And in all fairness, I think you have to consider how much that teacher has provided to this school throughout the years that teacher has been there. And if that teacher has a tough year, through medical conditions, death of a family member, problems with the son's health, if the school just boots him out, what does that tell your students about respect for people and helping them when they're having a tough time? Especially if he's followed the procedures and improved. So, students watch what the adults do. And some people have great health, and they can be there at school every day. Some people can be at school every day for 10 years, and 1 year they have a heart attack. They have this, they have that. Their son has cancer. Their son has a condition, we can't figure it out, and he's in so much pain, he can't even go to school. But we're telling the administration this is going on. So, I'm going to have Brianne hand out to y'all the Teacher Fair Dismissal Act, a copy of the statute, which is what is in play here tonight. And the title of this act is very important because it has to be the Teacher Fair Dismissal. When the superintendent makes a recommendation, it's up to you board members to make the decision. Y'all hire and fire in this school district. And it's up to you. Y'all can either take the superintendent's recommendation and say, yes, we agree with the superintendent, we're going to nominate. Or you can say, well, you know what? Maybe not in this situation. This does not look intentional. This was a tough year. But what we'll say is, okay, Coach Redding, we know you had a tough time this year. We do see that after that semester, after they talked with you, there were less absences. But we're going to modify your contract and say now for the 2012-2013 year, if you miss more than so many days, that's it. So you as the board have the choice of accepting the superintendent's recommendation as presented to you, modifying it as you see fit, or rejecting it totally. And that's what the Teacher Fair Dismissal is about. That's what the evaluations are about. Tell the teacher what you're doing wrong and tell you how to fix it. Because if you're not fixing it and we don't tell you you're doing it wrong, how does that help the student? It doesn't. So this law was passed with the student in mind, as much as the teacher. Because you don't want somebody out there doing it wrong for 9 months. That does not help the student. The other exhibit I would like to give you is one booklet, Exhibit 2, and these are a form letter of support that was signed by patrons, notes from the students, letters from the students, with support for Coach Redding. And later in the night, we'll have all the people that are here and who support stand up for you. Again, people have rough years. Now, I'm going to call Coach Redding because I know y'all want to hear from him first. So go ahead and go over there. Jerry, go ahead and tell the board members how long you've been here at the Alpena School District.
I've been teaching and coaching here at Alpena School District for 14 years.
And you graduated from here, right?
Went through elementary and high school here.
Did you teach anywhere before you taught at Alpena?
Valley Springs,
How long were you there?
3 years.
Now, during your time here, and particularly this year, what are your duties as a teacher?
I teach health, physical education, coach girls basketball and track, also PEs. I also do AD, organizing the schedules and stuff like that.
Okay, and the AD is the athletic director position for those?
Right.
Okay. How many health classes do you teach?
1,
And what time of the day is that usually held?
8th,
8th period, last
8th,
period?
yes,
How many PE classes do you teach?
2,
And at what time of the day are those held?
3rd and 5th,
And then the rest of the time, you're doing coaching duties?
yes.
And then you have 1 hour athletic director. Tell the board what you do during that hour.
Well, it's put the basketball poster schedule together, and I've done that for years. I did not do that this year. I send out contracts to schools, get officials, things along those lines.
All right? So the games can't happen unless you're doing these responsibilities.
Right.
Okay? Do you have to get officials for the games?
Yes,
Okay, do you have to contact the other schools and confirm when the games will be?
yes,
Okay. And what about with the Activities Association? Are you in contact with them?
yes.
Now, Coach Redding, let's talk about how your teams did this year.
Okay, my senior high team, they were average of 14 and 14, finished 3rd in the conference. In junior high, they went 20 and 2 in won the conference and this year.
All right. Now, what was this about the senior high and the 47 consecutives?
Let me add this just for the record, and you would, but we are not allowed to discuss things that occurred prior to this year by law. And I don't think it's appropriate to allow the teachers to go into things that occurred prior to the school year unless you're going to open that door and let us do the same thing. And they're trying to talk about things that occurred other than this year. And,
Oh, well, this one occurred this year.
well, you're talking about things that have occurred in the past. And if we want to get into that, that's okay. But I don't think it's fair to let them do it and not us. For the record, that's up to y'all. For her, whatever they want to do. I just have to get it done.
All right, okay. So what about the senior high team this year? They went 14 and 14?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Finished 3rd in the conference.
And 3rd in the conference. But what is this about them being in a book?
It has not been published yet, but it should be published by next year.
And what is that about?
It's the Arkansas Activity Association record book
All right, and why will they be in it?
for winning 42nd consecutive conference games.
Okay, so the 14 and 14, does that have to do with the conference?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about this school year and your health. And well, let's talk about last summer in July. Tell us about the sinus surgery and when it was scheduled.
Okay, it was moved from late July, I don't